Hello, I'm Miranda, and welcome to my AMA, where you can ask me questions about digital marketing the digital marketing program, online business, and anything else about my journey or what it is that I share. And if you are joining me live, I invite you to ask your questions. And if you are watching this as a replay later, I invite you to ask any questions that you might like to have answered in future lives. And today I thought I would chat about navigating life's crossroads. Because whether in life or business, we're going to be faced with a variety of different paths that we can choose from. And, this can sometimes be a very easy choice, and sometimes this can be more challenging because we can be different types of travelers at different times. And we can also end up experiencing where we're faced with a path and it's just very obvious that, no, this path is not for me. I can see it very clearly that it's not going to go well if I try to force myself down this path. And other times we can see this other path where it's like, yeah, I can see clearly that this is the right direction for me to go. But I think oftentimes we don't end up having that clarity. And there can be different reasons. Like there can be maybe different paths where we can see aspects of each path where I can see some benefit in each of these paths, but I can also see some challenges in each of these paths. And the thing is that sometimes these benefits and challenges that we see may actually only be our perception. They may not actually be the truth. And that can be sometimes difficult to recognize. So we can, like I said, we can be different travelers at different times. And sometimes we can also be, the type of traveler that, actually, I'm just going to close my blind a little bit because I just realized the sun is shining weird. There, that's probably a bit better. So anyways, I've got sort of three different travelers in mind, but there can be obviously a little bit of both combined or, different aspects of each of these. But one of those travelers can be the one who sees a path. You don't have the clarity of where that path is going to lead. You have another path which is already familiar. And you're like, well, I've already been on this path. I know what it's like. I know what I'm going to experience. This other path, I have no idea what I'm going to experience. I don't know if it's going to offer danger. I don't know if it's going to offer abundance or what that might be. And so sometimes we can be in this place of, well, I'm just going to stay safe. I'm just going to stay with what I know. Even if it's not necessarily making me happy, even though it could be causing all kinds of challenges for me, I know what to expect. And I'm just going to share a phrase that I heard growing up, which haunted me for a while until I finally was able to release it. And that was, stay with the devil you know, instead of going to the devil you don't know. Which was basically that taught me that no matter which way I go, it's not going to be good. That was what that taught me. So if it's not going to be good no matter where I go, I may as well stay with what's familiar, because at least I know what to expect. But I ended up learning that that is not a healthy belief to have, because it prevents us from opening ourselves up to opportunities, to the amazing world that is out there, the amazing experiences that we can have. Yeah, sometimes maybe we might end up experiencing something that is not what we had hoped. I think usually it doesn't end up being as horrible as we might anticipate, but it may cause us to face things that we didn't really want to face. And sometimes that's a good thing, that we want, that we're forced to face things that we don't want to face. So we can be that kind of traveler where we just stay where we are and we never take a chance going down a different path, because we just don't know what to expect. We could also be that kind of traveler where it's like every path is kind of like a shiny object kind of thing, a shiny path, where it's like, oh, well, this path is exciting and that path is exciting and I might get to do that and I might get to do this and, oh, maybe I can try this. And we're like going to all these different things. And so maybe we might like never settle on a path. And we might go down it for a little bit and then like, oh, but I want to go check out this path. Oh, but now I want to go check out this path. And so we never really fully experience what is on any one of those paths. But another aspect of that is that we might go down a path with a lot of enthusiasm, but we're maybe not fully prepared for it because we're not thinking about how to kind of create this foundation for the path so that, if something were to occur, we're still be able to come back to a place of balance. That foundational part where, I don't think I'm explaining this very well, but we basically don't have any consideration for what we might encounter. We're just so excited that we just forge ahead. And I mean, there's a lot of instances that have shown up in our history where that kind of action is taken, where somebody or some people just forged ahead with whatever the path was that they thought was best or exciting, or however it was that they perceived it. that they never stop to consider what might possibly happen. And I'm not saying like being in a place of fear, but just, maybe having sort of like that, maybe a bit of a backup plan or something like that, if possible. I mean, there are some times when we take a path that's not always possible. But these people too can also be, or when, we might all be that type of traveler at some point in our lives. And when we do this, we could also be completely ignoring the path that we came from, the path that we were familiar with, and shove it away, choose not to acknowledge it anymore, pretend like it has no value whatsoever. And then there's also the more balanced type of traveler who is able to experience the thrill, the excitement of exploring a new path and checking it out and seeing, well, what might it offer? But at the same time, having some plan when you go ahead, like not just forging ahead without any kind of plan whatsoever, and also still appreciating where we came from. So, for me, I notice that balanced traveler shows up for me quite a bit when I am out walking in nature with my partner, because we enjoy being able to explore different paths, different trails, new areas that we haven't been to before. But at the same time, we don't feel the need to always have to do that. We also still like coming back to those familiar paths, because familiarity can offer a lot of benefit. Now, obviously, it depends on the kind of path you're coming from and what you experienced on that path and all of that. Sometimes a brand new path might be the best option for where you are in your life. But even if the path that we came from wasn't necessarily the best, we can still appreciate it for the things that we learned from that path, those experiences that we had, the different perspectives that we gained from being on that path, which can serve us extremely well on whatever new path we end up going on. So every path we go on to can offer challenges and rewards. And I think we need to be open to both. I think a lot of the challenges that we can experience is ending up causing us to look at aspects of ourselves, facing aspects of ourselves that we may not have wanted to face. And that is such a big part of growth. And I know that it's not easy to do that, but being able to see what ended up causing us difficulties on our previous path or paths and what might be causing us new difficulties on our current path. Maybe this could be different triggers. Think of it as, you go on this new path and a bear jumps out at you. Or whatever animal you want to think of. That could be like a trigger. You encounter some person or some situation that creates a huge emotional response in you. But this doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. This is an opportunity to learn. This is an opportunity for us to reflect and think, well, why is this upsetting me so much? Why does this bother me so much? And not really create a big story around it, but just acknowledging that, oh yeah, this is creating a huge emotional response, and being able to work with it. Instead of just shoving it away and I don't want to deal with this. I'm just going to wait for those. I'm going to just distract myself until those emotions disappear. But of course that doesn't work, because it's going to show up again and again and again every time we get faced with that trigger. So let me see what else I want to add to this. So we can be that fearful worrier who never wants to take a chance, never wants to try and go in a new direction or a different direction. We can be overly confident, or we can have kind of a balance of the both, where we can have the courage to move forward, to move on to a different path. Reflect on where we've been and embrace those different challenges and learning experiences and perceptions that we can encounter. And this is so much. This is not just in life. This is in business as well. It can show up, these different paths can show up in relationships. It can show up in our work choices. It can show up in our wellness choices. It can show up in business. Maybe you are at a crossroads right now. Maybe you are in this place of, well, I'm not exactly content with where I'm at. Maybe I am feeling burned out and exhausted with the job and the work that I'm doing. And I know that I can't keep doing that, and I need to find something else. Or maybe you're in a place of, well, I am just so tired of trying to pretend to be someone that I'm not, trying to fit into this pigeonhole or box that I feel like I've been forced in. And I need to break free of that, and I need to find something that's going to allow me to be true to myself. But at the same time, you're looking at where you are, and you just feel this stress around making a choice. Maybe you're like, I know where I'm at is not the best for me. but I'm scared to leave what I know and venture into something that is unfamiliar, that feels scary, that I don't know what the outcome is going to be if I take this path. But, if you are in that space and you find that courage to at least look at a different path, even if you don't take action and move towards it, to at least consider a different path, then, I would love to share with you about the digital marketing program that I'm in, because this is a program that does allow you to be yourself. It allows you to set your own schedule. You don't have to work 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day, whatever it is that you might be working. You can take care of your well-being while you work in this business, and you earn while you learn, because it's a comprehensive, ongoing, proven blueprint or training that you get. And so you get that flexibility, you get that training, you get that not having to work so much, so that you can take care of yourself and focus on those things that you really want to be able to focus on. Those things that might bring you joy that maybe you're not getting the opportunity to really connect with right now. Plus you get this community, this supportive community that is behind you. So if you want to know more about this program and explore whether this opportunity might be the right path for you, I'd love to share more. So just put in the comments, yes, if this is something that speaks to you.